Please don't fall. It's not that serious. Okay. Okay. What's up, y'all? It's your girl Paris. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today, the music isn't on because guess who copyrighted my YouTube video? YouTube. Thank you. Shouts out to YouTube. And speaking of YouTube, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on that bell to make sure the post notifications is on because YouTube be tripping. And today we have another story time. Um, the first story, you would think the first story time can just eat up all the cake. You would think that, the girls got it. Like, it got it. But this story time, based off of that title, at this point, just make a wish after you eat the cake and hope that never happens again. So, let's get right into it. So, boom. It was, I remember this date, y'all. It was a couple of days before Thanksgiving. I'm not going to tell y'all the date, just it's around Thanksgiving. And I remember I was on Yubo. I'm currently on Yubo Live right now as we speak. Ciao. But, oh, a hater commented. Let's check their profile. Let's see. That's why they hate her. Okay. And I was on live early in the morning, and I remember I usually get like 0 views on Yubo. I use that as a talking point, and checking my lights once again. I use it as an experience to get me prepared for public speaking, for videos such as me posting YouTube videos. Even though I'm not sucky at public speaking, I can always be better at it. So that's one of the main reasons why I'm on Yubo Live. So one of the reasons that I was on Yubo Live this said morning was, to make some friends, interact with people online and stuff. And I remember there were a couple of people in my head. Poppin' was 5 views. So I was, chatting with the 5 views, and I noticed one of them that has been the 5th view from the beginning was my first view at first. Just keep up with the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 5. And they never said anything. Now, me personally, if it's like a live that's active, cool, you don't need to speak, do you, watch the live, get entertained. But if you know, like, it's less than 5 people, less than 4 people on there, why are you on there unless it just seems a bit sus that you just staying on a live, you're not interacting with it, people are barely interacting at first. So I let them know what's up. That's what I usually do. I call people out. I'm like, okay, hey, like, if you don't want to talk, you can just leave. Or I do my usual talk, walk, or get blocked. Ciao. So I said, okay, why don't you say anything, something along those lines? And the viewer said, oh, I'm on a call. Okay, on a call. Okay, that's cute. Well, first off, priorities. That's what I'm thinking. Priorities. Priorities. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, let them be. Let's interact with the others. So I don't know how it started, but we definitely know how it ended. That, and mind you, I was in the mood that day. Like, usually I don't entertain this type of talk. Like, because, growing up, certain boys would pick at girls, and that's their definition of liking them. So, or flirting with them, or just like saying, what's up? So basically, he was on that type of time, and he was like, oh, like, what's up? Like, I'll fight you right now. First of all, even if it was a joke, we don't joke about that. Number one. Number two, that's all you got. I checked his profile from the get, and he was an attractive dude. I went through his profile. He put down his cultural flags, his age, and a couple of things where he was from. Turns out, y'all, we shared cultural similarities. He was a couple years older than me, and he wasn't far from where I was. So just keep that in mind. So I was just indulging him, like, well, I'm gonna call you back. I'm gonna call you out on your bluff right now, as if, like, basically putting him to the challenge. So he was like, "Oh, say less. We'll meet up." And that's when I was like, well, you ain't gonna do nothing. I was basically calling him out on his bluff. And, the views started going down. Then we started chatting more. And I was like, and then he suggested us meeting up. Like I said, y'all, I wasn't my usual me this day. And I was basically like, boom, let's just do it. Boom, let's just do it. I was on that type of timing. Like, yeah. So we started messaging on Yubo messages. And he was like, oh, we can't fight on an empty stomach. So I was like, you really try to think that you was slick, but we gonna let you have that. So I was like, okay. And then next thing you know, we start transferring our chat in iMessages. And basically, we were suggesting locations, a dinner, restaurants to try out, and all that. And I'm the one that ended up picking the restaurant that I've been wanting to try out that was just near me. So we scheduled the time that he'll come to pick me up. I was very much okay with that. And boom, it was settled. Now, y'all, this is when we start getting into business. I thought, okay, it was settled, and then I'll see him as soon as he picks me up, and then we'll get on, um, our little dinner. And just to clarify, it was a date. We'll get on our little date or whatever. But then, no, it didn't stop there. He proceeded to offer a FaceTime chat. And to a point, I could get it how you would want to, call a person, couple, however long prior to the day, just to like get the necessary questions out there. You want to, you're curious about something, cool, cool, cool. I had a couple questions myself. So after the whole setup for when he's gonna pick me up, we began to FaceTime, and um, that's when we privately chatted for real. And y'all, when I tell you shit started going downhill afterwards, I'm like, all right. So he was basically telling me just a little bit about himself. I really, really don't remember all of the discussions we've had, but I know the setting that I was in. I was in my vanity area, and I was actually getting ready to go to brunch. And your girl was oiled up. We were shiny. We looked good. We were doing our makeup. Our hair was already done. Everything was getting into place. And yeah, he was like in his kitchen area, and I remember this lady behind him coming up occasionally. And in my thoughts, I'm thinking that's his mother, for one. One of the questions I asked him was what he does for a living, and it was something along the lines, or let's just say he had more than one thing that he did for a living that he stated made him buy two cars. He stated that he has two cars, he does well for himself, all that. And I am Nigerian. Just to throw that out there, y'all. My nationality, I be Niger. I'm on Niger babe, Niger girl. If you don't know now, you know. I beg. Niger know they carry last. I beg, right? So he's partially Nigerian. So as it it's a no brainer that if you want to handle Niger girl, you need to come correct. No, they cut to the corners. Come to me live and direct. No cut to the corners. So that he was partially that, and cool, cool, cool. I asked him the necessary questions. I usually don't. I usually ask a person, okay, like, what's your height, since that's one of the reigning questions nowadays, and like getting to know a person and dating. And I'm like, why not ask that myself? Because I do have a height preference, but I didn't ask that, y'all, and that will implement into later on down the story time. So I'm getting to know him, and he off bat has a condescending character. Like, I noticed, how like even if the person checks off the boxes in your little book of whatever your book is, and something is still not right. That's how it felt. It felt very much something in his spirit, or my spirit was telling me something that wasn't in his. So I'm just, having a good time, like doing me, just, getting to know him. But not too much, because that's what a date is for. There is no person. Like, that's what it is full time. So, um, then I started noticing him peeping me on how I wasn't responding to certain things that he was saying. Like if he would try and make like a what he thought was a joke, he would think that I was taking it too seriously. And y'all, when I tell y'all my humor is undefeated, like like it is. So I wasn't responding to it because I didn't deem it to be a joke, and I have a mind, so yeah, my mind responds to it as, yeah, um, I don't agree with you like that, or like, yeah, that wasn't funny to me, but I'll say it in a way like, not that wasn't funny, but I'll say something else. So he got very like quick and took it wrongly, and I'm just like, about it. I don't know. So, yo, hold on one second. So, and then I felt that he had a bit of some narcissistic character traits to his being. I just felt that was the case, like very much so too. So I took that in mind, but behind my mind, I still think that he was not gonna show. I still think that he was not gonna show, and I'm not gonna back out. I was waiting on him to back out, and in a small little piece of my brain, I was like, even if he doesn't back out, we won't feel nervous, we won't panic, we'll still go. But I was, as if I was, it was almost as if I was counting on him to back out, because I felt like he was that type of dude. So, you know, the FaceTime call ends. I immediately just feel the spirit of discernment telling me, yeah, this is bad, Paris. This isn't it. This isn't. He isn't it. And I wasn't even on that type of timing where I was looking for a boyfriend or I was into dating fully. I still am on you both, and my what I'm on is to expand my friendship circle, and I am open to dating, but that's not what I was solely on there for. But a date, you never know. But I still knew what I want, and I have no problem in expressing that. So the call ends, and I'm on my way to where I told y'all that I was gonna be. A good like three something, he hits me up and he asked me, "Oh, are you sure you wanna continue with these plans?" And I'm like, it's not as if he planned this 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago, 3 days ago. This was the day he planned on taking me out, and he's asking me. So I don't speak for other people. I won't suggest how other people. In this circumstance, I won't suggest how he's feeling. If he wants to say something, he should say it out of his own head, out of his own mouth, and not put that on me as to how I'm feeling. Cause I very much said, "Oh, I'm yeah, like I'm still going, very much so." So he was like, "Okay," and y'all, this was whatever flag number there was. Like I said, the red flags be flagging so much that the American flag is now what? Blue and white. So whatever flag number this was, he was like starting to. This is in relation to love bombing. But he started calling me terms of endearments as if like we were boyfriend and girlfriend. He was giving very much, okay, darling, okay, sweetheart, okay, lover bear, okay, honey. And then he randomly, out of the blue, as if like we had a loving, endearing conversation, he begins to say, I like you. Like it was just random. Like it was just some random text, I like you. So I knew how to handle that sentence. I was like, I like me too. I think we have something in common so far. Right? So I'm like, yeah, okay, I just cut the convo short, see you when I see you. Yeah, yeah. Right. Totally. Right. So I get on about my day. And y'all, the end is near. The time, let's say he was supposed to pick me up around 7 o'clock. Yeah, I'm getting ready. Like I'm like asking my mom, yeah, where's the brown coat? Where's the brown coat? I'm organizing my little, fall outfit. I'm wearing my natural hair. It's like back, makeup is done, lashes is done, lips are done. Recording a YouTube video. Everything is done, right? And I still have in the back of my head that he is going to back out and this is all a fairy tale and a facade. So I'm like checking the time. I'm like, okay, 6:50. What's that mean? I'm having a panic attack. I think I'm having a panic attack. I'm having a panic attack. Right? Like, so I'm like on Spotify. I'm on Spotify and I'm on one of my little self-help podcasts. Shouts outs to Breedy Lee on one of her podcasts that she did, 100 questions to ask on a date. Bitch, sorry YouTube. I'm itching. Itch. Yeah. When I tell you, like, okay, I was before this day, and if you haven't already figured out, this was my first official date. But I didn't feel nervous. It wasn't for the main reasons on a first date as to why you would feel nervous. I feel like I got it in the bag, but it's just jitters. So, although I know what questions and how to converse and social skills and me not being nervous around guys, I was just still panicking. So, I just wanted to verify within those questions if I got it in the bag. And I'm like, okay, yeah. How did your mother treat you growing up? How did it shape you to the man that you are today? Like when I tell you, I was like, yeah, like, okay, brain, boo. Okay. 7 o'clock hits, no call, no text. Y'all, when I tell you I was so happy, I was like, got your ass. You're not the man that you said you was gonna be. You are. I called you out. Yup. And what after? Right. So I don't know why I was so excited about him being called out on his bluff, but I was just excited. So 7 o'clock passes, like I'm still like pretending as if like he's gonna still pick me up. I'm being very much delusional, like just waiting, like, okay, give it 10-20 minutes, blah blah blah. Right. And who do I get a call from? Oh, y'all, we have not, how dare us not nickname this person? They need a name. Let's call him Narc Shark, because he was a narcissist and he's given very much shark tales. So Narc Shark calls me. He calls me again because I was away from my phone, and turns out he called for the first time. So I'm seeing a FaceTime call, and I'm like, so I swipe it, boom, boom, boom. He was holding his phone up, y'all, like this. He was in the car. And he was, y'all, I'm telling you, back to the love bombing or like the terms of endearment, where he's acting as if we're in a 7-year relationship, as if he's heading towards our anniversary, and he sounds so endearing, like, sweetheart, I'm on my way. I'm so sorry. I was late, blah blah blah. Like I'm heading, like I'm a couple minutes away. I got the address, and I'm just looking across the phone like, oh, this for real. Like he's about to be near. He's about to be in my point of address. This is real. And y'all, this was my first time meeting somebody online too, and on Yubo. So it's like, okay, it's past my manifestation, but we got this in the bag. Like, you know what? on, girl. Like, let's do it. Yeah. Yeah, we G for real. Yeah. Yeah, we gonna be, yeah. So, I'm FaceTiming him, and I'm like, okay, okay, cool, cool, cool. And y'all, I'm gonna tell you right now, if or when, if, whatever my past relations will be, whoever they will be, I need them to be not obsessed, because obsession, well, if they want to, that's on them. But I noticed within him, I knew everything about him was just, it wasn't real. Like, he wasn't giving real man. He wasn't giving, okay, I'm 100% putting my authentic self to this table, and I'm showing up as myself. And then another thing, let's backtrack. During that FaceTime call, he the number one red flag was he wasn't a listener. He kept on saying, "Excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry," and then I would admit myself too. I was like, "Excuse me," but not as much as how he wasn't listening. So that was the number one flag. He was not a listener, not to talk of a good one. So I'm on the call and I'm noticing him, right, putting his phone up in the air in the car. So as I'm looking at his face, I end up looking more down, right? Mind you, he got his phone way, like, as if he's like a vlogger on top of the mountain, trying to show as if he's in Argentina. So I'm like, where are you going? Because y'all, I kid you not, Narc Shark had a white tee, some kind of t-shirt. It was a white tee, y'all, and some gray sweats. Now, there's all different kinds of dates. There's all different kinds of styles, and there's all different kinds of human beings. But I'm gonna tell you right there and right then, if your date shows up with, and it's to a dinner date. If your date shows up in a plain t-shirt with some sweatpants, given the normal circumstances, they are trying not to impress you. They are not putting any effort or any well put intentions into this experience, into your experience, and into them impressing you and you wondering, they impressed me. That's the second thing. The second most, like, that's the top thing that I took amongst all the red flags. I couldn't handle that. I couldn't handle him showing up with me with such attire while I looked like delectable and edible. So I clocked him on it in my most, graceful way. I'm just like, oh, like, where are you headed to? Like, are you going somewhere before you head to me? And he's like, no, I'm on my way to you. And I'm like, well, I would appreciate it. I noticed what you're wearing, but I appreciate it if you would just change. We are going to a dinner that I've been raving about, and I'm dressed this way, and I think others might be a bit confused if they see us together in different attire, and I wouldn't like that, just paraphrasing amongst what I said. And he was like, okay, I gotta change of clothes and like in my car, and like, yeah, put them on before I head to you. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's good. Yeah, yeah, totally, right, cool. So y'all, after that hang up, we call after the call ended. Now I'm just soaking in everything, like, okay, this is real now. So I'm getting extra stuff that I need, and y'all, yeah. So I get a call, let's say like 30 minutes later. He was late. Like, everything about him, he was late. And I'm thinking that he would make reservations as to where we're going, because where I suggested for us to go required there being a reservation. And he calls. Turns out I missed one of his calls, so I see the call. He calls again. I'm like, hello? He's like, I'm outside. And I'm like, oh, this shit for real. But he sounded a bit irritated when he called and how he said that. So, yeah. Y'all, I do this thing. This is the rule. If your date is late like blatantly late without proper good, well intentioned explanation. And there's a vibe going on. It's like first time, like it all depends. I'm gonna do me. Like I'm not just gonna rush in and hug you in open arms and just wait outside on time after you stood me up for however long or you didn't do any confirmations. I did my own thing. I was like 10 minutes. That's even like 10, 15 minutes, probably 20 minutes. I was lingering, doing my own thing. And then I go out, Cool. I'm in my brown coat, in my cute little, just fall attire, all that. And I go outside, and there's no car in my driveway. So I'm like, huh. And then I'm looking around, and then I'm seeing a car with its lights on across the street. And I'm just standing in the middle of my driveway, and I'm like thinking, is that him? And then he honks like, "Brr." Wait, hold on. Let me get this straight. Let me get this correct. Let's get all of this established. You're telling me, Parry baby, that my date is across the street, parked at the wrong address, not in my driveway. I'm me, and you expect me to giddy up and travel all the way to the wrong place you packed. It cannot happen. It cannot happen. It cannot happen. Ah, sure you know it cannot happen. So I'm just standing there. So then I do a signal like, yeah. And then that's when he comes to where my location was. And he gets out of his car and he opens the door, and I'm just like, I see him for the first time in the freaking flesh, y'all. But I'm good with people, so one can't read my poker face or tell that I'm nervous. So I'm just like, hey, yeah. I don't remember if we hugged or not, but y'all, this is where shit gets real rocky. Like I'm talking real, like very much get me out of here. Like, how? Y'all, I go inside that car and I'm well perfumed. I'm graceful. I'm ready. I'm ready. But guess who was readier? His cologne that slapped me in the face. Like, when I told you I got inside that car and it smelled like a gym locker room. Like, I'm talking like Axe, Sauvage, Dior. It smelled like La Nuit de l'Homme, YSL. It smelled like a male conversation. Like, I love men, I love everybody, but it's like the cologne, it didn't whisper, it punched me in the face. And I'm just like, you know what, perfume, it's okay. It's okay. I know we don't get our shine right now, but it's okay. I guess the perfume that I have just had to just sit back and so I'm just, looking around the car, cool. Then another thing comes. The radio was loud as hell, y'all. Like, when I tell you and I love me, like, a loud radio, y'all. I know how to have fun, but it's like, this is the first date, and it's like, I'm thinking we're about to chat, like, low music, like, you're the positive motivation within my life. Let me know. Like how they did ATL, child. Like, come on. Well, they weren't on the date. They were on a car conversation ride. I don't do that. But, that type of vibe with the date, And all I'm hearing is King Von or like, boop, 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 boop. I'm just hearing, like drugs, killers, and dead bodies while I'm trying to say, hey, how are you? And it's like times 10. So I'm like, okay, cool. of my hand on top of the dashboard, as we drive off. And yeah, we get situated. He's looking me up and down. I'm looking him up and down. He matches his photos. I definitely match my photos. Like, that's verified and checked. But y'all, when I, just before that, when he got out of that car to open my door, it wasn't far from what he was wearing. Like, he was now wearing like casual wear, which, all right, I guess for now. So, boom, boom, boom. We're in the car. Both of our hands are on top of the dashboard. My left hand is on the dashboard. My right hand, I'm doing, look like, little posture. Like, I'm that girl. So it's like, yeah, cool. And, we're on our way to our location. And, yeah, we just indulge in a little small talk, blah, blah, blah. And a couple minutes before our location, to the dinner restaurant, I'm he asked me, oh, like, what are you gonna drink when we get served the menu? And I'm like, mind y'all, I wasn't legal, still am not legal. I turned 21 soon, y'all. It's May baby month. Taurus gang, what's up? So he asked me what I'm gonna drink, and I told him, oh, I can't drink, and I don't drink, which is true. I don't drink. Oh, something is in my eye. I don't drink, and I definitely wasn't gonna drink with him because, yeah, on the first date we have our reservations and our standards and all that, and then after that first date we still have it. So I'm like, no, I won't be drinking tonight, but by all means indulge all that. And he clocked himself. Like, I clocked him on his little attitude. Like, so like I said, y'all, he has and back then I don't know if he still has a child, but he had a condescending manner to what he was talking about. He was like, what do you mean you're not gonna drink? Like, it was this aura as if the devil went inside his body and just grabbed him by the shirt and was like, produce what, like, speak this. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna drink tonight, but like I said, I mean, you do you, all that. And he was like, never mind. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, no, I'm not gonna drink, never mind. Okay. And I know it's a thing where, like, certain dates, a guy will order, for the lady a drink, just, like, loosen her up, as in make her more comfortable with them for whatever their reasons are. If it's for the bad reasons, shame on people that do that. But if it's for good reasons, yeah, I get it. Like, a lot of people can be nervous, and a drink can certainly do a job to, making a person open up. But I have a feeling like he was trying to use that for the wrong intentions, hence why he was acting really stank about that. So, yeah, I felt this uncomfortable energy after that. He just went straight silent. And, I wasn't trying to be uncomfortable. Like, I was internally uncomfortable, but I was not going to let that show. So I was just, pretending to vibe to whatever music he was playing. Like, like, I just remember, like, nodding my head. And I'm like, what in the... Then he had some complications on knowing where the location was, so that was a little bit of a backtrack and added more lateness to our time. So we finally get there, and he goes across, opens my door, and then that's when, like, I peep him, like, looking me up and down, like, and I don't know, I still feel to this day, like, although, like, his face was, like, facially cool, but I know I wasn't all the way physically attracted to him. I don't know how he felt about me, but I just wasn't liking his vibe towards me. So, well, I know to a certain extent how he felt about me based on his actions. Hence this freaking story time and all the red flags he produced. But, attraction wise, that's his own concerns. Anyway, moving on. We get inside the door, and then we meet I forgot what they're called, the person that escorts you to your table, that checks your reservation time. And I hear an accent, and the guy was like, late, like, basically telling us, like, you're late. And I'm looking at Narc Shark, like, Yep, yeah. Point to him. Yeah. And the restaurant wasn't empty. It was like intimate, but at the same time active. It just depended on what side of the restaurant you were in. So, yeah. Upon me thinking that I got this in the bag, like and they're actually helpful. Like searching about experiences before you have that experience, it's like obviously helpful. So I was searching, I heard, and I did some research on, okay, yeah, on your first date, sit near where there's like a bigger population, a crowd, so that just stirs up more conversation. Instead of sitting across from each other, sit next to each other. That just makes it more less awkward. If you want to look at something else besides them, and you don't have to clock them awkwardly, like all that. So guess what? Didn't go. Which, like I said, well, not like I said. I get it. The universe takes a different stir, but at this time, I wanted things to go as planned, because with the way he chose where we were gonna sit, basically, and it was more intimate, beautiful view, like I would say that. And I was the one that was seeing the view. He was seeing the door. So it's like, where he looking at? I know where I'm looking at. Anyway, and we were sitting across from each other. And y'all, even before that, it was so awkward because like I was smooth with it, but it was like he was a bit jittery sometimes. Like he wanted to sit near the first one, and it's like, well, you were leading first, so it's like all that. Anyway, so we get seated and we are being served our menu. Well, we look at our menus, and the waiter comes and asks what we'll have to drink, and I request whatever I requested. I think it was water with lemon, all that, yeah. And it begins. I'm thinking we'll have a chat, like, and my intention was to get to know him, as and my and I, yeah, and the same as well, or so I thought. So I'm asking him a couple of questions. Notice that he wasn't listening, same as he didn't on our FaceTime calls. Like he and along with that, his attitude changed from condescending to eloquently condescending. So he had this very much tea with the clean attitude, because he was in, that kind of area, but still, that type of surrounding doesn't change your character. So he kept on saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Like, what are you to be sorry about? I speak assertively. Like, I speak, you can understand. Well, maybe he couldn't, but it's like nobody wants to repeat themselves a million times. I'm recording a YouTube video. No one wants to speak a million times. No one wants to repeat themselves. And like I said earlier, I couldn't hear what he was saying sometimes because he did have a low tone to him. And it was like, okay, yeah, that's not gonna work. So I already knew before this date started, the date was over. So, I'm asking him a couple of questions, and he's giving very much like to the point answers. And it's not like I was asking close-ended questions, because you know how like one just asks a close-ended question and you can get a close-ended answer. I'm following up, and it's genuine. It's not on no interview stuff. Like this isn't any 21 questions type stuff. Like a date isn't just to ask a person questions. It's to like have a full-rounded experience, knowing what you want and having no expectations. Right? Cool. So I'm getting a lot of, I'm getting little feedback. So I'm like, okay, we'll converse after, we'll get something to eat. Cool, cool, cool. So I ordered what I ordered. I'm gonna let y'all know right here, right now, the food was trash. So this restaurant that I thought was gonna like serve, it didn't eat. Like literally, no shade to the restaurant owner. Shouts out to him and his politeness, but it's like, get somebody else to do it. Right? Cool. So the dinner is served, and we're eating and then we're conversing, but it's still that whole him not understanding what I'm speaking about, all that, him giving just rounded up summaries about himself and then asking the same about me, and I'm just like, yeah, that's that. Putting myself out there, cool, cool, cool. And then it's like a couple minutes before we're done finishing our meals, right? Y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all, this is what literally broke the camel's back. Like, this is the straw that broke the camel's back. We started talking about just relationships and stuff, and before any assumptions are placed, I think that a rule in how I go by, one shouldn't usually or should never first-handed experience talk about your past romantic experiences just out of the blue, uh, on the first date. I find that to be a bit distasteful, just a little bit, you know. So I didn't do that and all that, but I'm still honest. So with this being my first date, um, he asked me, okay, how many relationships have you been in? I gave him an answer, and yeah, the second question that followed up after that, y'all, was just really inappropriate to me. So he was like, so are you a V? And by V Mary. If you know who V Mary is, take out the Mary and just say V. So are you a, so as I was literally like this, like, excuse me? Like, um, first of all, I find that to be very inappropriate. Like, I'm paraphrasing, but my reaction was like, yeah, like, how dare you? And I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna answer that. I find that to be a completely inappropriate answer. Yeah. So then he was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. I'm like waiting for I'm waiting for like the check to be handled so I can just get dropped off to my location and block his phone number. Not because of just that question, but because of this full blown experience. So I'm just like, yeah, get somebody else to do it. So the food was trash. The conversation was trash. He was just an experience for someone else, and I'm thinking that that's the same for him too. So boom, boom, boom. Fast forward, the dinner's ended, and we get up out of our tables. He handles a check. Cool, cool, cool. And yeah, when we got up from our tables, he comes around. Yeah, and also the height question that I never asked is playing now as importance, because the minute he picked me up, I would say he was a good 5'7", 5'8". I felt like I was taller than him though. Like, I just felt like I was taller than him. So let's just say he was probably like 5'5", 5'6". Not my style. So he comes around. We're walking. I'm thinking we're gonna separately walk towards the door. Blah blah blah. He ends up putting his hand around me, around my shoulders, as if we don't have the best dinner date in the world. As if we're about to be like in history the best first date ever, and we're about to go to a second location because we can't get enough of each other's experiences. So I'm just waiting for that to be over. I'm like, okay. Oh, and y'all, how would I even freaking forget? As we were going to the restaurant, remember when I told y'all that we both placed our hands on the dashboard? He slick tried to like, well, like, I was like, okay, your hands are big, right? Cool, cool, cool. And then he was trying to match both of our hands together. Like, I'm like, okay, yeah, your hands are cold. Like, they're really cold. And then he tried to like hold our hands together. I don't do that. Yeah. So I'm like, so he was trying to make physical passes, which was like, yeah, that's not the vibe for it. It's not natural. It's not gonna happen. The vibe isn't vibing. So he tried to do it again with putting his hands around my shoulders. So we walk out the door, then he stops doing that, and he opens my door. I get inside, like he's walking around the car. As he's walking around the car, I'm just like, help, help. No, I'm playing, y'all. I didn't do that, but bitch, I wish I could have done that. Like, I so wanted it to be that type of experience where you see a person that you know, and then you're like, hey, oh my god, long time. You know what? I'll catch up with you later. Yeah, and they invite you somewhere. It's like, okay, that did not happen on this experience. So we take off, right? Cool, cool, cool. And as he's driving, music still loud as hell. Perfume, cologne still freaking loud as hell. Oh, y'all, I'm missing a couple of things, but thank God I'm catching them, y'all. So throughout the day, he had a couple of phone calls coming in. Especially while we were in the date, he, like, first of all, his phone was ringing in the car when he picked me up, and then his phone rang a couple times while we were on the date. You know, he did off like ask me, okay, like, do you mind if I take this? I'm like, yeah, I don't mind. But I was like peeping how his phone call was going due to his response and just like the vibe and stuff. And I definitely felt that it was one of his homeboys or one of his friends like asking for something. So cool, cool, cool. Low key back then, I'm thinking, okay, like it's one of his homeboys that's or friends that is in need of help, or like they need something and they are waiting for him to get, this date over with. But now I'm thinking maybe he was the borrower to something, and one of his friends was calling him to check up on if he's done with whatever he needed, whatever he rented out, whatever. Because I just felt like his whole thing that he was talking about was a facade. Him probably having two jobs. I don't know if he told me that he lives alone, but or if he has his own apartment, but I don't know, that background while we were FaceTiming, that was really questionable. Like everything was questionable about what his status was or what he was claiming for it to be. And like I said, like be honest. Like that's the whole main point. Be honest. Be honest. Anyway, we're heading, we're in the car. And we were just expressing to each other, like, not gonna lie, this restaurant was yeah, because he did, and along with how I feel like he was trying to like act as if he was all eloquent and stuff, he was like, this drink. He ended up getting a drink. I thought you said you weren't trying to drink because I wasn't trying to drink, but he ends up ordering a drink, and he's like, it doesn't pair well with this dish, and I'm like, okay, good to know. Like, what are you, Gordon Ramsay? Like, what's going on? Like, where did that fanciful act come from? Anyway, well, not that it's fanciful, but it's like, anyway. So, we were sharing to each other how basically the place, it wasn't exceeding our surprise or expectations. And I'm like, yeah, but at least I tried this, and I now know. At least we tried this, and now we now know. And then he started like asking some questions, laying suggestions on like, oh yeah, like, do you want to go back home and all that, like, like, do you want to go anywhere else? And I'm like, no. Yeah, like I definitely was not up to it. Like, you really think that we're gonna go to a second location? And if he was suggesting where he wanted us to go, that would have never happened. Please, what? I'm waiting for the familiar street sign of my surroundings, so I know that I'm near home. I'm waiting for that. Okay, so then he was like, oh yeah, we could have gone to the places that he suggested. Mind y'all, like, I'm not in the city, but he was suggesting a place that was in the city. And I'm like, with the vibes that I was getting off of the FaceTime, and even before that, me meeting him that same day, I'm not going anywhere far with you. No. So I'm like, he was like, yeah, we could have gone there. And I'm like, no, we can't go there. Yeah, we can't go there now. And then, y'all, this was when I just knew, like the demons have him by the chokehold. He definitely snapped, and he was like, yeah, we can't go there now. See, one thing I don't do is aggression. One thing I don't do, especially masculine aggression. What did Iyanla say? One thing I don't do, masculine aggression. What did Chloe Bailey do? I don't do aggression from a man, from anybody. Like, people can get angry. That's normal. It's how you handle it. It's how you put it. And what I said shouldn't have made anybody angry. Like, under the circumstances within this story time. Unless he had other things going on. So I'm looking at him like, and like silence just breaks. Silence just starts. Again, another awkward circumstance. So I'm just looking out that window like, bump into that music. Just, like, let's not react. You don't know who this man is. You don't know what the circumstances he'll put you under if, you do snap. I could say that I didn't feel safe. There were so many stuff that I just knew he was not it. So I'm waiting for like how many minutes we are near where I'm, at. And then we get to where I'm at, and y'all, he parked on the correct street this time, the right side this time, but he didn't park down where the driveway was, not to talk of inside the driveway. He parks like near the grass. And I'm like, you wanted me to, you know what? I was just overwhelmed with everything. So I just look back at him, music ablazing, perfume firing, cologne firing. And I thought he said something. So I'm like, huh? Like, or what? And then he just had this look on his face, or what, I thought he said something. So it was getting very much like, like, I thought he was like doing that. So I was like, yeah, okay, opens door. I closed it. I walked on my grass, y'all. Then walked to the platform, then went up my driveway. Why was he still there? Like, that is disrespectful to drive off in a tizzy, but still, the date wasn't perfect. The date wasn't it. So it's like, you might as well take off. So I was thinking in my head was like, why are you still there? Why are you still there? Why are you looking at me? Why are you looking at me? Why are you looking at me walking off? Why are you here? So I went out the driveway, and boom, door closed. I'm like, whew. And y'all, I let out the biggest balls of tears. I had to let that shit out. Like, I had to release. I'm not storing in trauma for him. I'm not storing in hurt. Who you be? Who you be? I'm letting it rip. And one of the things that I do is I do video diaries, and I record myself speaking, letting it all out, sharing my emotions. So I definitely pressed that record button that day, and I was just venting on how my date was going. Basically, like this story time, but like on an emotional, more of an emotional standpoint. And as I'm doing my video and getting unready and stuff, I get a text message. And it was from no other than Shark. And he was something along the lines of, yo, why did you shut my door? Like, why did you slam my door? Like, I was talking to you. And I'm like, I didn't slam your door. Like, I had to pause my video diary and text him back. I was like, hold on, y'all. Meanwhile, y'all is me. I'm like, hold on, me. Hold on. And I'm reading the text. I'm like, why did you slam my? I didn't slam your door. And he's like, yes, you did. You slammed my door. Basically, like aggressive, like very much. I read his aggressive tone through the freaking bubbles, and he's like, yeah, anybody that, like, I just found that to be disrespectful, whatever, like basically putting a negative tone to it, blah blah blah. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm not having this back and forth text message debacle with you. So I call him, I FaceTime him immediately, y'all. Immediately. He declines my call. I said, it cannot happen. Hey, it cannot happen. Me, a whole me, a whole Paris, Paris babe, me. I beg, wait see now, wait see. Hey, now wow, now wow. So you think you're doing me? You're not doing me. You're doing yourself. Ah. Then he texts, I'm not, like, basically I'm busy right now where I can't answer your phone call. So I was like, yeah, like I definitely in my head I was like, yeah, it's done for. But let me just grace him with these couple of words before this is over. So I'm like, whatever I responded with, and um, then he said something out of pocket. I don't remember what he said that was out of pocket, but I blocked him. Um, well, I think one of the things that he said that definitely did it was like, oh yeah, like I found that to be disrespectful. Anybody that would have done that, I would have, like, one would block them. He was trying to, like, psychology my ass, trying to, like, be a narcissist at his best, trying to manipulate the situation. Like, he was speaking in like very disrespectful, very unnecessary. Yeah, I, I'm not taking that. So I blocked him, right? Blocked him along with me blocking his number. I blocked his UO account. I blocked his Instagram that we exchanged, all that. And then I remember he did carry two phones with him. So guess what happened next? I get a text from some random number that was also unsaved, and it said, like, he was like LOL. LOL. I never said me. I said anyone that will block you. Oh, you a kid for real for blocking me. Like, you're childish for real, something something. And I responded um the last thing I responded was, I guess I'm a kid then. Blocked. And that was my experience. Yeah. I never spoke to him after that. So while I was blocking his Instagram, before I blocked him, I just wanted to check his followings. Like I said, y'all, it was the same day, and I would have never done this under the normal circumstances. Okay, this was a big mistake. I admit that on my part. And I didn't do enough scanning on his Instagram. So I checked, what his profile was about. I was looking at his followers list. And y'all, I kid you not, he definitely had okay, everyone has a type, cool, cool, cool. But I have a feeling like with what he was giving, the girls that he was following was very much past, during, or future experiences. They very much were similar in culture. They had, like, he had like a physical type, and like, they were, I would say normal accounts. So like accounts that's under 10K and all that. And I'm just like, good luck. If this is the circumstance, good luck to those girls. Good luck for both. I wish them all the best. And by best, I mean, I wish something. Yeah. So that was that for my story time on the worst date with a narcissist. Make sure, and y'all, let me say, make sure y'all do your due deals. Y'all do diligence. Make sure that you completely feel safe with them. Like, and it very much depends on what you want. But if it's like a first date, or if like you're looking for a companion, or you're looking for a romantic relationship, make sure y'all are know what y'all want. Make sure you're safe while doing it. Do your research and know how to say no. Trust yourself, trust your gut. Because if I didn't trust mine, God knows what would have happened after this date with Narc Shark. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, turn on those bells, turn on the bell for the post notifications so you get a notification every time I post. Because once again, YouTube be tripping. And I will see y'all on the next one. Toodles!